Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Collaborative Connections, a space for sharing and learning, sponsored by the Society for Oncology Massage and the Society for Oncology Aesthetics. My name is Ericka Clinton, and I will be your host for this episode. And on today's podcast, we have Brian Morris, president of the Jojoba Company. Brian just celebrated his 10-year anniversary with the Jojoba Company. For the last 5 years, he has been the president, and he's had many careers in his life, running video production companies to developing websites, which is how he landed at the Jojoba Company. Interesting. Honesty, simplicity, and curiosity are his guiding principles in everyday life and in business. Thank you, Brian, for taking the time to join us today.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
I know you're extremely busy running the Jojoba Company, but the Jojoba Company and S4OM and S4OE have had a really nice partnership or alliedship over the last couple years. So I'm really excited for our folks to learn a little bit about your products and Jojoba itself, as well as kind of understanding why our group benefits so much from working with a company like yours. So can we start off by learning something just about Jojoba? Like, what is it? Why is it like the most amazing product that a massage therapist could use?
Well, you pretty much summed it up right there. So I guess we can end the podcast. Thank you very much. Have a good day. No, it's a good place to start. A lot of people, first of all, thank you for pronouncing it correctly. Jojoba. That's one of the biggest questions that we get is how do you pronounce it? It's spelled Joba. So people say Jojoba or Jojoba. I don't know why they use the J on one, or I don't know. Anyway, but we actually have a post on our blog that's all about how do you pronounce Jojoba. And when we look on our website statistics, there are different pronunciations. So it's great to get it out there that it's Jojoba. It's actually native to Arizona. So that's why it gets the Spanish J, which is pronounced like an H. And the company was actually started by a farmer from Arizona that was growing jojoba. And really, to get to what makes it so unique is that jojoba is the closest thing in nature to the sebum that your skin produces. So what makes it unique is that it's almost biocompatible. It's kind of like nature formulated this product as a skincare product. And it's very simple. Huge desert shrub that drops its seeds whenever the seeds are ripe. And then we simply take those seeds, put them through an expeller press, which is a mechanical process. It crushes and squeezes the seeds, and then you get the jojoba extract. And what we're selling is 100% pure jojoba. And again, jojoba is biocompatible with your skin. So the great thing about it is when you put it on your skin, it's not like a lotion or a cream that kind of stays on top of the skin. It actually absorbs into the skin and works with your skin. So you're almost, we wash our hands way too much. We wash our bodies way too much. That microbiome that we have naturally on our skin, we just keep washing it away. And so jojoba helps to restore that balance a little bit. Another thing to know that's kind of one of the big points to understand at the top of the conversation is that jojoba is actually not an oil. It's actually a liquid wax. And it's called jojoba oil in the market because liquid wax, what does that mean? That sounds strange. I don't want to put that on my skin. So everybody just says oil. But then there's the other side where people say, well, I don't want to put oil on my skin because that'll make my skin oily. But again, since jojoba is so close to the sebum that your skin produces, when you put it on your skin recognizes that chemical composition. And again, it absorbs it, but it also helps to balance the oil production for your skin. So people that have acne or breakouts because of an overproduction of sebum, jojoba will actually help to balance that. And throughout the talk here, I'll keep bringing up amazing things about jojoba. But when I started working for the company 10 years ago, I knew nothing about it. The previous owners of the company actually hired me to develop the website for the company, and I had never heard of it. I mispronounced it when I went in for the interview with them. And once I started to learn about it, and once I started to actually use it, because they gave me a sample that day, I just thought, this stuff's amazing. And yet so few people have heard about it. In massage therapists and estheticians, we're getting into more schools, but it's like, we go to conferences and we talk to people about it, and they really think that we're that we're selling them a line, because it's like, there's no way this stuff does all that and is that good and is just this one ingredient. We think that a good product, or a product that does good things for us, needs to be formulated in the lab and have all these different ingredients and all these different things. And it's like, no, we just squeeze this seed, this extract comes out, you put it on your skin, and you're good to go. It sounds too good to be true, but it's not.
It really is. You have to convince people. I remember reading something that said moms didn't believe a disinfectant killed germs if it didn't smell bad.
Exactly. It's crazy. Yeah. No, it's like, no, it actually works.
Yes, and works so simply. So let's talk about that for a second.
Mhm.
So the seeds fall off this bush, you extract the liquid from the seed. I guess my question is, how did it get discovered that it was so close to the sebum that your skin produces? Like, when did that become part of the story of jojoba?
Yeah, we can't really track it down to one point, but as I mentioned, it's native to Arizona, to the Sonoran Desert. And sort of the lore that has been developed over the years is that the Native Americans were using it. They would be going through the desert, they would pick up the seed, they would eat the seed to sedate hunger, even though jojoba doesn't have any nutritional value. But they also used it, they would crush it and then use the seed as like a poultice for wounds and different things. And it was just kind of known that it was good for the skin. They would get a burn, they would put some on, it would help. So a little bit of the history of how we discovered it and how it started being used in skincare and by professionals is back in the 70s, jojoba started gaining popularity when sperm whale oil was outlawed. Chemically, there are three things in the world that are identical. One is our skin sebum, as I mentioned, jojoba, and sperm whale oil. Chemically, they're almost exactly identical. And so when sperm whale oil was outlawed, industry started looking for a substitute. And, it was kind of known that jojoba had the same chemical structure. So money started being put into research of how to use it. And originally, it was some of the big oil companies that were putting money into the research because they thought it was actually going to replace oil that we would be extracting from the ground. But of course, it's a lot harder to grow something than it is to just drill a hole in the ground and extract stuff out. So that kind of moved away from that. But because money had been put into it during that time, it was found that it was great for the skin, that it worked really well as a skin conditioner. And there were tons of studies. I have a bunch of books on my shelves from the 70s and 80s and early 90s where all these studies were being done. But eventually, because of the cost of it, because of growing, because it's a crop, because you can have crop failures, it moved out of the industrial applications and more into the personal care products. And so that's where it is today. But as I mentioned earlier, when we found that jojoba was so great for the skin, it just became a natural fit for using it in skincare products. If you look on your shelf, you'll probably find one or two beauty products. Shampoos, a lot of shampoos and conditioners have jojoba as an ingredient. There are many soaps that use jojoba as an ingredient. We sell tons of, literally tons, of 55-gallon drums to manufacturers, a lot of names that you would recognize. And even the crazy thing, I can't mention any names or get into too many details because of NDAs, but there's actually a company that is using jojoba to make a plastic alternative that is all plant-based. It's crazy. So jojoba is just this, it's like this, again, now it's starting to sound like snake oil, but it's an amazing product.
That really is so interesting because obviously our world to get, I think, on some level, hopefully more so than I probably believe, has decided that sustainability is so key, right? So how do we use more natural products to ensure that we have the future that we enjoy and live comfortably? And so that someone is actually using jojoba to make a product that probably people are going to use in their daily lives is kind of fascinating. So clearly an amazing product, not just because of its kind of chemical matrix, but because of the way it's grown, produced, and therefore has so many utilizations. But let's bring it back to massage therapy and aesthetics. What are like some of the specific benefits that someone who would be, I guess, using jojoba products or working with clients who maybe have some medical compromise could speak to in terms of those benefits?
Sure. Yeah. To start kind of with the benefits and then drill down into the specific benefits for medical compromised individuals. So again, jojoba, biocompatible with the skin, as I mentioned before. The great thing about that too, with massage professionals or with aesthetics, is that when you put it on the skin, it doesn't stay greasy or oily. So it's not like a lotion or a cream that one of the biggest benefits I always tell massage therapists is, somebody comes in and gets a massage, they get up off the table, and if their first inclination is, I need to wipe this off, I need to go take a shower, I feel nasty, then you've just ruined the whole experience. Whereas with jojoba, we have many massage professionals that sell our jojoba in small bottles because their clients get off the table and they say, wow, my skin feels great. I actually had a massage therapist. She called up one day and asked if we sold the small bottles, if she could buy some to sell to her clients. And she said, I had a client call me up and told me they haven't taken a shower for 24 hours. And I thought that was kind of weird. And I just want to give them a bottle so they'll take a shower. So, so that's one of the biggest benefits. But some of the other benefits, jojoba is actually non-allergenic. And we don't say hypoallergenic, we say non-allergenic. We don't know of an allergic reaction that has happened due to jojoba. So really you can use it on any client. You don't have to worry about nut allergies. You don't have to worry about any sort of like gluten intolerance, anything like that. And we've had a lot of massage therapists and especially massage therapists, since they're using creams and lotions, that have told us that when they're using creams and lotions, that they've actually become allergic to them because they've used them so much in the chemicals that are used in them. And I always say to professionals, you're going to be using this stuff, you're going to be in this stuff, you're going to be touching this stuff for, 6-8 hours a day. So why, if you're not using chemicals on yourself, we have so many massage therapists that, eat organic or are vegan. And yet the stuff that they're putting on themselves and on their clients is laced with chemicals. So that's another benefit of jojoba, is that you don't have to worry about any sort of allergies, any sort of breakouts, not only for your clients, but also for yourself. Another great benefit that's just a purely financial benefit is that when you use natural fiber sheets, so like cotton sheets or flax, hemp, those types of things, jojoba will actually wash out of those. And so again, that is purely just a business benefit. You're not going to be replacing your sheets because your sheets aren't going to be stained. They're not going to be looking weird or feeling strange. And the caveat we always put on that is that, modern detergents, for good reason, we've taken out a lot of the heavy cleaners. And so sometimes you need to pre-treat a little bit with maybe some Dawn dishwashing liquid or something like that. But one of the big benefits too, though, is that jojoba actually doesn't go rancid. And this comes back to that chemical property of it being a liquid wax rather than an oil. It has very low triglycerides in it, which means there's really nothing to oxidize and nothing to make it go rancid. We keep our samples on hand for 7 years. I actually had a massage therapist that came up to me at a show that it's always nerve-wracking when you look out of the corner of your eye and somebody's walking towards your booth with a half full gallon, and you're like, what's this going to be? So she came up to the booth and she said, I moved offices 12 years ago and this bottle got shoved to the back of the closet. I was just cleaning out the closet a couple of weeks ago and I found it. It's 12 years old. Is it still good? And we don't keep samples that long. So I said, I don't know. Let's open it up and see. We opened the bottle. There was no off smell. We put a couple drops in the back of our hand. We rubbed it in. It absorbed just like it's supposed to. I said, I think you could use it. And she said, well, I think I'll use it on myself. I'll go ahead and buy another gallon to use on my clients. But that's the oldest sample that we've seen. But again, it comes when you think about that, when you think about other plant oils that people are using for massage or estheticians are using, and they're going rancid within a year, doesn't that make you think maybe we shouldn't be putting this on our skin? So again, that's another great benefit of jojoba. And then getting into the specific of immunocompromised people, even lesser things. As I mentioned, using it, jojoba doesn't clog pores. It's non-comedogenic. And so even people that are prone to breakouts or prone to acne, those types of things, it will actually help their skin. But because jojoba is just jojoba. What we sell is the seed is taken, it's put through that expeller press. Like I said, we filter it to get any of the seed sediment out. We pass it through a UV light just to kill any bacteria that may be in there. And then that's what goes into our bottles. That's it. We don't do anything else to it. We don't add anything to it. We don't take anything away from it. It's just 100% pure jojoba. So again, when you're using this on oncology patients or people with immune compromised systems, you don't have to worry about, is there going to be a reaction? Is there something I should be worried about putting it on a client's skin? I often tell the story. My mother-in-law actually had breast cancer. And during hospice care, she was undergoing massage for pain and for different things. And, me being the sales guy that I am, I was chatting up the massage therapist that was coming to the house. And I said, what are you using there? And and we got to talk, and she said, I have to use different things on different clients because some clients react to this, other clients react to that. And she said, it's just, so she said, it's kind of trial and error in the beginning. And then I just make notes as to what I have to use on who. And I said, well, why don't you try this? And I gave her a bottle of our jojoba, and we saw her a couple months later, and she said, you know what? I'm now using this on all my clients because I haven't had any problems. I don't have to worry about it. Even our massage therapists that are down in Florida or out in California where it's hot and they're traveling and they're keeping the bottle in their car, they don't have to worry about it going rancid. They don't have to worry about it going bad. So yeah, that's it's pretty amazing. In fact, you can tell I like to talk and I like jojoba. We actually did a study, and this is a sales pitch thing that we say for estheticians and different people that are in the skincare business. But we actually did a study on jojoba and found out that jojoba triggers the mRNA in your skin to synthesize collagen. We've had a lot of people, we do phone orders too. So people call up and they, chat us up a little bit. And, we love our like 85, 90-year-old ladies that call up and they're like, I need my jojoba because all my friends, I've been using it for 30 years. My friends say I look like I'm 60. And, we just think that's the greatest. And we always thought, oh, that's a funny anecdote. And then we did this study and found out that jojoba is telling your skin, your mRNA in your skin to synthesize collagen. And we said, oh, they're actually telling the truth. There's proof in this. This is crazy. It's very easy on delicate skin. Oh, and I didn't come up with this word. I think it's a terrible word, but when elderly people have crepey skin, it helps with that. It helps with dry skin. So we know that when people are undergoing chemo and radiation, it just wreaks havoc on the body and on every system and on the skin. And so, yeah. And so having not only jojoba for the massage, but also just having it in general as a skin conditioner that, again, is, non-toxic, it's non-allergenic, it's not going to clog pores. It has all these benefits to it.
And we can tell people it might help your body process some collagen and keep you looking young. Such a buzzword these days is collagen. Exactly. Ingest it, put it on yourself as much as possible. And again, another benefit. And that actually just kind of hits home in a lot of ways, I think, for a lot of us in terms of we are seeing more clients with more immune compromise. I mean, just if I think about the folks that I treat who have long COVID, who kind of have this enormous list of signs and symptoms for some of them, and many of them are highly prone to reacting to even the simplest things that are applied topically. To know that there's a product out there that it's pretty safe across the board, has some huge benefits, but also is on the edge of, reactive, very minimal. And, as someone who's also thinking about my business, like the expense is worth it in terms of I'm going to have a product that's long lasting, that's not going to go bad, that I can use on as many people as possible, and that won't stain my sheets. So win for all of us.
For sure. And another benefit too is when you're thinking about jojoba, because you mentioned cost, and when you look at the cost of jojoba, if you look at a gallon of jojoba and a gallon of your lotion, cream, whatever you're using, jojoba is more expensive, no doubt, but everybody starts to use jojoba and realizes, oh, I'm using a lot less of this. And why is that? Because lotions and creams have the first ingredient, typically water. Okay. And then the rest of it, some vitamin E and some other things that are good. And then a bunch of things to stabilize that water so that it doesn't go moldy. So what happens when you're giving a massage with the lotion and cream? You keep reapplying and reapplying. Or if you're using it for aesthetics, different products, you have to keep reapplying and going back. And so you're using a lot more of the product. We did, it wasn't really a formal study, but we asked a lot of our massage therapy customers. And just so you know, some of our massage therapy customers, the company's 30 years old, and some of our massage therapy customers have been with us for 30 years. So that says something right there. But we asked a bunch of our massage therapy customers, can you just kind of figure out how much you're using full body massage? And what we found out is that it works out to about 25 cents for a full body massage if you're buying it by the gallon. So when it comes down to the dollars and cents of jojoba, it actually, works out in the end. And like I said, your clients get off the table, they feel great, their skin feels great. And another thing I forgot to mention, and when it does come to oncology patients, but other patients or other clients in general, is we did another study on jojoba, and we found out that jojoba is as effective at reducing inflammation, topical inflammation, as a topical steroid is. And so a lot of people, again, this was like anecdotes that we kept hearing. We said, there's got to be something to this. We had a lot of new moms that were saying that they used jojoba to battle stretch marks when they were pregnant. We had a lot of people that were saying that they were using it for even like wound care in their animals. And then we started noticing that a lot of tattoo and piercing parlors were buying our jojoba and giving it to their clients. So instead of using like a Vaseline or some sort of lotion after getting a tattoo or a gauging, but we noticed that a lot of places were buying it. And again, they were saying they put it on like you get a tattoo and that inflames the skin. You put jojoba on there and it helps it heal. And then we did this study and said, oh yeah, I see why, because it's as good as a topical steroid. So yeah, it's almost like nature put this product here for us as our one and only skincare product that we need. We just need people to learn about it.
That's amazing. It was so funny. I was thinking because I have this tiny little bottle of jojoba that I think I got at a conference. And it's in my bag as like, if I need a lubricant on the fly, I didn't plan on doing a massage, I have this little bottle that doesn't take up a lot of space. It can literally go in my purse. I think it's like this big. And I've used it a couple times, and I found it the other day and I was like, doesn't look like I've used any of this. Like, how is that possible? And I know I've done at least 2 massages with this tiny little bottle, and still it's almost full. And I'm just thinking, well, that's a lot of bang for my buck right there.
Yeah. You were thinking that Jojoba Company has a terrible business model, because how do they sell anything? It goes so far. No, we always tell people a little goes a long way. We want people to use the right amount because we want it to be a good experience, not only for our customers, but also for our customers' clients. So typically, again, the study where we did the 25 cents per massage, or we found out that if on average, if somebody's doing about 20 full body massages a week, so pretty heavy load, that you'll go through about 4 gallons a year, which works out to, if you bought it regular price, that's $360 for the non-organic that we have. And then we have a certified organic for $440. So, but you think about $440 over a year going full time. I mean, and you're going to save on the sheets, as I mentioned. So yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah, no, the cost analysis definitely works out and benefits the therapist, which is always nice. As people work in our industry, we're always thinking about cost, long-term revenue, so forth. So knowing that we have a product that has really good bones, so to speak, and is a really good value, right, in terms of what you're getting for that cost, is pretty amazing. And then obviously supporting a company that, as you said, you're sitting here on the other side of the wall is your factory space. So a group of people really working hard to bring a good product to the market. So supporting that as well. You're not like a super large corporation where we can't talk to you. Right. That I'm sure is a huge benefit to your customers. Talk to me a little bit about some of the research that jojoba has done. I mean, the inflammation understanding was absolutely fascinating, as well as even understanding more about the product. But is research something that you guys embark on regularly? And could you tell us a little bit about some of the things you looked at in terms of the efficacy of your product?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I have several volumes of books over on my shelf of research that was done early on in jojoba, so in the 70s, 80s, 90s. The jojoba is a very small market. There's not a lot of farms in the world. It's nothing compared to like coconut oil or, some of the other products that are out there. And as I'm sure research is very expensive, especially when it comes to studies that are being done. So it's just been recently, in the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, that we've started to do more and more studies that we've been paying for. The good thing is because jojoba is becoming a lot more known in the industry and in the world, we're having a lot of customers that are reaching out to us and saying, hey, I'm going for my doctorate degree. I'm doing this study on, in fact, we just had one, I think it was about a year ago or so, where she was doing a study based on massage therapy using essential oils with jojoba for the treatment of oncology patients. And so when people call us up and they say, hey, would you be willing to donate, a gallon to this study that we're doing? Absolutely, we will. Please send us the results. Whenever we find one of those studies, whenever we fund one of those studies and receive the results, we always post those on our website. So we do have a lot of information on our website, on our blog. But like I said, it's very, to actually fund a study, minimum, you're talking $40,000 to $50,000. And that's a lot of money. So the studies that we have done, we've found, partners to do them with, to try to share that cost, but to also try to raise jojoba in general, the knowledge of jojoba in general up. But we do want to do more. There's, in fact, one that we're getting ready to do right now. You can make jojoba clear. Basically, you do this by passing it through diatomaceous earth. And well, why would you want to do that? Some people don't like the natural scent that jojoba has. And I think that we've become even more sensitive to this after COVID. It's like everybody's worried about anything that has a strange scent it's like, oh, just get rid of it. Just, keep it away from me. I don't want to be near it. And so jojoba it's kind of like a nutty scent, but I think people are noticing it more since COVID. And we've been selling clear jojoba to manufacturers of products, especially like companies that are making lipsticks, things where the color can't be influenced. Because not only does it take out the scent, it takes out the color when you pass it through the diatomaceous earth. So we're wanting to do a study right now on what else is coming out of there. What other vitamins? Is it lowering the vitamin E, the tocopherols? Are those being taken out with the color and the scent? Because there are a lot of massage therapists that want to use essential oils with our jojoba, but again, that bit of a scent influences the scent of the essential oils. So we're just wanting to find out those things. But yeah, the studies that I shared with you, those are the two main ones that we've done recently. And we have a lot of great ideas. We just need time and we need money. And like you said, the crazy thing is we're a small company. We have 7 employees now. And, like right now in the office, I'm the only one because, one of my employees is out on vacation. One only works part-time. So we're a very niche product, a very small product in the world, which is one reason why people haven't heard a lot about us, but we're gaining steam. And I think that the more jojoba becomes popular and the more that it starts to be sort of like a mainstream skincare product, the more of these studies are going to be done.
No, that sounds wonderful. And even just the two that you mentioned, really amazing understanding as well. Mm-hmm. And for folks who work in skincare or massage therapy, we can already understand the benefits just from those two references you made. So let's talk products a little bit. So we have the oil. I'm going to air quote it since it's
fine.
not. We have the oil. And what other products are you guys making that people could find and purchase on your website?
We've been in business for 30 years, and really the only thing that we do is the oil. Yeah, during COVID, we did some trials on different products, very simple skincare products, like 2-ingredient using like beeswax and jojoba, a 3-ingredient lip balm, which was great and people loved. And the employee that we had at the time that was actually making these things for us, she has a skincare product line, that a small side business that she has. And so she was making them for us. Everybody loved them. And then she left the company, and so we didn't have anybody to make it. We're actually in the process of researching a couple different products that we can make. But whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it with jojoba as the absolute main ingredient. Like, one of the rules is we want jojoba to be at least 50% of the product, because why come out with another skincare product? There are millions of skincare products. So why not make it different? Why not make it really good for you? Because I promote jojoba as the perfect skincare product, and it is, and it's the only thing you should use, and you should buy it by the drum, and you should bathe in it. But as my wife always says, the jojoba's just not quite doing it for me today. So, there's got to be some other products that are used, but we want to make sure that anything that we do sell in the future, like I said, we distinguish it by using jojoba as the main ingredient. So keep an eye out on the website. We may be coming out with things in the next 6 to 8 months. Lip balm will 100% be there only because the lip balm that I have left over from when we were making it, that sits on my nightstand and I use it every night before I go to bed, is almost empty. And so we're going to make it because I need some of it.
It's time. It's time. But that's great. That's great. That's great. And also, again, knowing high quality products coming from the jojoba, great selling point as well. Wow. Thank you so much for all of that information. I feel like I learned so much, and it was so much more entertaining than looking on your website. Your website is great, but it was like, okay, as I weed through all this, it's like, I want to have all of my questions answered about jojoba, and I did. And I appreciate all the information you shared with our listeners. I really hope they learned that this is a good company to get behind. The products that are there are really good quality. And, as I said, I totally appreciate the relationship that we've had for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years now with the Jojoba Company. So really great partnership.
For us, it's, because jojoba is not well known, our company really mostly is about education. That's why we go to conferences. That's why we go to shows. That's why we're constantly putting up new blog posts on our website, because we want to get the information out there. And the great thing is that so many of our customers, they're telling their friends about it. They're telling their clients about it, because that word of mouth is great for us. But just for your listeners, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. Our phone number is on the website. Right now, we're a little short staffed, so you might get the voicemail, but we will give you a call back. Shoot us an email, hello@jojobacare.com or hello@jojobacompany.com. We'll get back to you. So yeah, we're constantly getting questions, and we love the questions because that means that people are wanting to learn. And, as you said in the beginning, one of my core values is honesty. I don't say anything that we can't back up. That's why, people ask me questions sometimes about jojoba, and I say, listen, I have no idea. Just, it might be, it might not be. I don't know. I can't give you an answer.
Right.
But I read it on the internet. It's like, hey, listen, unless you read it on our website, I'm not going to back it up. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here, and we'll be happy to help.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate your time. And as I said, just so much that I've learned, so much great information. And now I feel like I need to go on your website and purchase some jojoba for myself and my growing practice, and all the people that I want to be able to work on safely. So thank you again so very much.
No problem.
And collaborators, I really hope you enjoyed our podcast today, and we'll see you very soon for another episode.